Hello there, out there, in here, all around the globe, and all the ships at sea. My name is Doug, and I'll be your host for the next hour and a half or so of Inkquiring Minds Live. Here we are in July, already the beginning of the summer. We'll wait for everybody to arrive. Oh, we got 22 people here already. Thanks for coming, folks. It's great to see you all. Of course, I can't see you. I wish I could, just like the magic mirror in, what was that, Romper Room. I see Bobby and I see Judy. And yes, as we're waiting for people to arrive, I'll let you know that I just flew back from Ontario, and boy, are my arms tired. Wynn and I were in Ontario for a week or so on vacation. Should let you know that we've lived here in Calgary for, what's that, 37 years now, but we're both born and raised in the Niagara area of Ontario, Niagara Peninsula. So whenever we go home, which is often to visit family and so forth, we tend to get a week or two filled with family. And we don't actually get to go and do the things we always used to like to do in Ontario. You know, visit Toronto, go to a Blue Jays game, things like that, see Niagara Falls. Well, I grew up next to Niagara Falls, and it was just down the street. I used to go to the pubs in Niagara Falls and close them, and then drive across the border to Niagara Falls, New York, and close those bars. So it was a constant. Niagara Falls was always there for us. But in 37 years, we took the kids once when they were small, but for the last number of years, we've never done any touristy kinds of things in Ontario. So we just decided that we weren't going to tell our family we were going to Ontario. And we spent a week in our hometown and went to the beach and went to the falls and that kind of thing, and really had a wonderful time. No, I never went over in a barrel. You stand in the barrel at Ripley's and they take your picture, and it fools your friends into think that you went over the falls. So I'm going to actually show you here a picture of Wynn and I. I hope I'm coming through okay. Everybody can hear me. Everybody can see me. You never know with this technology whether it works or not.
It's 11 o'clock.
Here we go. Yeah, thank you. It's 11 o'clock. My computer is telling me. And let's show you here. Here's Wynn and I on the ship, on the boat. We have never, again, I grew up in Niagara Falls and in the Niagara Falls area, and so did Wynn. And we have never been on the Maid of the Mist. Now, there is a Canadian one and an American one. The American one from the American side is the Maid of the Mist. And ours is called I think it's called the Hornblower. And the plastic garbage bags they put over you as rain slickers. The ones on the American boat are all blue, and the ones on the Canadian boat are all red. So here we are in our Canadian red garbage bags, waiting to go down into the falls. You know, when they say Maid of the Mist, I always thought, well, you get up close to the falls and it's a light mist. It's like getting a mister on your face. No, it's a torrent. It's a maelstrom. It's like standing in a hurricane. So we got drenched, to say the least, and it was marvelous. If you ever get the chance to go to the Niagara Falls, one of the 8 wonders of the world, get on the Maid of the Mist or the Hornblower. It's not that expensive. Get right up front and get your face into that mist. It's an exhilarating experience. I didn't expect, actually, to have it feel not the mist so much, but the experience of being surrounded by a bunch of people on a boat, all screaming and all excited, and it was like being on a roller coaster every time another wave water would hit you, there'd be screams and gasps and laughter. It was quite an experience. So I thought I'd share that with you guys while we're waiting for people to come in here. Let's see how many people we've got now. 32 people, yay! So, again, thank you for coming. We have got an agenda today other than me just shooting my mouth off about my trip to Ontario, which was terrific. I have got an agenda for today, and we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. And here we go. For July, we're going to talk about what's new, what new pens and reviews are coming, what's old, what old pens I've gathered. I picked up a couple of pens in Ontario while I was there, and a couple when I got back. The better picking is happening here in Alberta, not in Ontario. And then we'll look at some questions some of you have sent in for Doug's Mailbag. You have to remind me, folks, my co-pilot today is Copperplate from Bad Homburg, Germany. Welcome, Copperplate 69. She's going to keep me on point here today and remind me that I have to give away 5 free memberships to my channel. I always forget about doing that, so we'll do that right after the questions. And the next live stream for next month will be August 2nd. One of the things that I find interesting about doing these live streams is that it's exactly 1 month between each one of them, and that's just long enough for the human brain, especially this one in here, to forget how to do all this stuff. And so I try to set things up the night before and get things working, but sometimes this live streaming software is pretty much voodoo. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So one of the things I'm going to try to see whether it worked, it didn't work this morning, it's going to work hopefully now, is that I can click on your comments here and they come up. Yes, yay! So there's our co-host today, not co-host, co-pilot, Copperplate 69 of Bad Homburg, Germany. Yes, I outed you. You're from Germany. Who knew? And she's going to keep me on track. Thank you for doing that. And I'll keep my eye on the chat there. So let's talk about what's new, what's coming up. Well, first, let's talk about who's here. So I started the stream, I actually scheduled the stream, and the chat is actually live before I go live with the video. And so about an hour beforehand, I came down checking after having breakfast and having my tea, and to check to see whether everything was okay. And there was Copperplate 69 saying hello an hour in advance. So there's a fan for you. Thank you very much. And a bunch of us, like Juicy Louise, was here for a good half an hour or so beforehand. So we're having a good old time chatting with each other before the broadcast goes live. So let's see who is here. Angie Stone is here. Hi, Angie. Good to see you. There's a name like nobody else. There you are. And there's Angie laughing away. And Juicy, your husband Derek will be here. And there's Russell. Hey, Russell, good to see you. Ian is here. I know I'm going to miss some people. Had a good chat with Purple Dude. There's Dia from Windsor, Ontario. Good to see you. Who else am I missing? I'm missing all kinds of people, I know. We'll scroll back down. There's TJ. Hey, TJ, good to see you. TJ is one of the not oldest, but oldest as a member on my channel. I'm trying to say this carefully, so I'm not saying that TJ is really old like me. I don't know. He might be 12. I doubt it though. Anyway, let's talk about what's new, what's coming up, and see whether my desk computer camera works. because it's been going on and off here. There's something funky going on with my iPhone. This is a feature of the iPhone that you can use it as a desk cam, and it attaches to your computer. And here we are. And it seems to be working, but it chimes going on and off all the time. It's been doing that all morning. I don't know why. This is the C80, which I did a review on just last Tuesday for Canada Day. And this is a gorgeous pen. If you haven't seen that review, take a look at it. I know people were saying they were concerned because I had some issues with the stub nib that I got with it. I got a 1.1 stub with it. I've swapped out the stub for this medium number 8 size gold-plated nib that was on my C2000 Asvine, and it's writing really nicely. I've eyedroppered this pen. It takes 5.5. There goes the camera again. See, I don't know what the hell's going on with this camera, but it takes 5.5 milliliters of ink. And yes, I had some issues with the stub nib, but I think that was a combination of the shimmering ink that I put in this pen and a very tight nib slit on the stub. So I'm going to work on that nib. But everybody seems to be enamored with this pen. It comes in some glorious colors. I was asked a couple of times why I didn't get the Galaxy version of this. Well, I wanted to change it up a bit because I'm always getting Galaxy pens in that beautiful blue. And I like this pen so much, and it's so relatively inexpensive. It's like $40 US, something like that, $35 US, I don't know, depending on where you go. You can get this from the Asvine store on Amazon, and I think it's like $35 or something like that. But it comes in 4, 5, 6, I think, colors, and there's a couple of blues there that are really nice. I think I'm going to go get another one of these. Beautiful pen. So that was new to me last week. This is one that's coming up. I'm going to be reviewing this in the next week. I've had this for a couple of weeks, but I haven't even used it. This is the Moonman Majon P140 piston filler, and it is in this gorgeous clear acrylic. So I can't wait to use this. I'm actually going to fill it up with some kind of ink today because I'm going to take it with me to meet with Stephen Brown on Sunday for lunch. See whether he's seen this pen or not. Number 8 size steel nib. This one's a medium. And can't wait to try that. There goes my camera again. Gee whiz, I don't know why that's doing that. That's not going to be helpful. Are we back? Yes. And that's sort of what's new coming up. And let's see what people are saying. Russell wants to know, has anyone done any Canada Day or 4th of July pen purchases? That's a good question. Were there sales? Did anybody buy a pen for one of the 4th of July or 1st of July celebrations? I've been on a bit of a hiatus for purchasing new pens. I've got so many old pens that I have to fix up that I'm trying to keep an eye on my pocketbook here. Excuse me. Russell says, I saw another review. They said something about seeing a seam on the pen. I hope you're talking about the Asvine. Yeah, I didn't notice any seams on it, and I don't understand how there could be seams on it because it's it's turned acrylic. So you won't find any seams on it. If you're talking about the 140 Moonman, it's turned acrylic as well. So no, I don't see any seams on that one either. Let's see. Yeah, that's one of my answers. Name like nobody else. Got the brown so he's not predictable. I didn't want to be so predictable. Everybody thought, oh, well, he's going to get another Galaxy. Purple Dude, of course, got the C80 that is purple, and it is beautiful. Angie says, please forward my best wishes to Stephen on Sunday. I will indeed. Wynn and I are having lunch with Stephen and Murray and a number of our pen club people. So it's going to be a group of people that are going to be visiting with Stephen. He's driving down on Sunday from Red Deer, which is just a couple of hours north of Calgary. Purple Ripple C80, $25.99 with a 1.1 stub. So $25.99 US. So that's about $30, $32 Canadian, something like that. The Penator says Atlas has a great sale on. Dia says C80 seems to like an excellent pen size wise for my hand. I especially like the 12mm grip size. Thank you for your review. I ordered 3. I can't wait to receive them. Yeah, at that price, it's great to get a number of them. If you don't mind not having a clip. Now, one thing you can do, get out of the blur here, one thing you can do on these pens is find some costume jewelry, like rings that are adjustable, and put a pretty ring on the top of it. And it ends up being a roll stop for you. Not a clip so much, but a roll stop. Ian says, I've overspent my pen budget too, including a couple of Kickstarter projects. Yeah, summertime, I kind of lay off buying new stuff, and you don't see that much new coming down the pipe. There's a question that someone has sent in about that. How do we know when the new pens are coming in, that kind of thing. So I'll answer that later. Russell, also in the mail arriving is a Gravitas beginner's pen in the green. Bought it from the U.S. seller Farney's. Nice. Gravitas is doing some interesting new stuff. And a Monteverdi Savoy pen. And Murray deserves special greetings on Sunday. I will let him know. Louise is already in the chat before we went live. Asked me a number of questions to ask Stephen for her. John T. That's too small for me to read. John T. Thadamanil says, my C80 stub is a beautiful writer. So unfortunate that yours was a dud. I also got the cobalt blue in fine. It's a very smooth fine with just a touch of feedback, as is to be expected. Yeah, I think my stub nib is really odd. It's very the tines are wide at the tip, and so it's when the ink actually. Okay, I did this and I got balloons. I don't know why. So I'll refrain from doing that. But the tines were like this, wide at the tip. But down after the feed, the tines are very, very close together. So it was like the ink was not able to get down that very tight slit. So I'm going to work on that stub nib a bit to see whether I can get it working properly. Russell says, also this past week, a Pilot Pura pen and a Schaefer Sagaris. Nice. Name like nobody else. I didn't order it for for a sale, but I got a new Bennu Euphoria in Galaxy Cocktail, a Goulet exclusive. Lime purple and glitter blue. Nice. There's Spider Wrangler. Hey, thanks for arriving. Wow, 54 of us already. Who knew? I picked up one through Goodwill auction. The photos didn't show it was a personalized engraved pen. Okay, Spider, you're answering a question from the prof. There he is. Hey, the prof, good to see you. I purchased an amber Karen. I got this for a steal, folks. I always like to gloat about this pen because you know how expensive these gold nibbed Carens are. This is the amber Karen, beautiful pen. I got this one for about $140, something like that, $120 on Amazon. It was like the last one. And then I got it, and then when they restocked, they doubled or more than doubled in price the next day. So that was a real steal. I love that pen. Russell says that Waterman's on my list. You gotta have one. I have two. I went ahead and bought the black one as well. So the black and the amber, but the amber is my favorite. It just glows from within. Whatever they do to this lacquer treatment they put on it, it's just beautiful. And that nib, I know people have issues with it. If you're right down close to the nib, you're going to get ink on your fingers. So I just say, don't do that. Don't write like that. But it's a beautiful pen. I have it right out on my desk all the time because I use it constantly. Amber Karen, I got it for under $100 US on auction, but personalized engraving. Yeah, that's too bad about the personalization, but you can ignore that. That's a great price for that pen. There's Dee. Hello, thank you for coming. Name like nobody else says, I'm going to the Dallas Pen Show in September and hope to find a Karen or a Schaefer with an inlaid nib, or both. I want to try it in person first. Yeah, that's a good idea. Try them in person. You can get to a pen show. You can see a lot at a pen show. I have never been to a pen show. I am going to have to do one of these days. Thank you for that, Angie. Yes, go ahead and give the stream a like. That really helps. John says, I ordered a Karen from The Pleasure of Writing, but had to return it. It was a used pen and it skips. No way I'm going to work on a gold tip. Certainly not for the price I paid, $250 US. Yeah, that's a lot of money. And it would bring my heart into my throat to try to work on a pen like that as well. Yeah, I don't know, Russell, about engraving. If the engraving was on this lacquer, I don't know how you'd get that out of there. Because that's layers of lacquer over brass, and it's translucent almost. So I don't think you would be able to polish that out of there. And it would certainly leave a really bad scar on it, I would think. So I wouldn't even try it. There might be a way, I'm not sure. Well, thank you so much for adding yourself, Samantha. Samantha Reimer Art, welcome. And TJ is from Yorkshire, a Yorkshireman, welcome. Currently in Worcestershire. Is that where they make the sauce? In Worcestershire? I think that is. Spider says to remove the engraving, it would remove the lacquer and whatever gives the chatoyant amber. it could be scraped, sanded down to bare brass, but I wouldn't be able to be built back up. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's exactly what I was thinking, Spider. So, let's take a look back at our agenda here and move to my desk, and we're going to talk about the things that are old that are coming up. New old. So I'll see if my desk camera is working again. Is it? Yes. Okay, so what's up first for old pens? This review, Pen Resurrection, is coming tomorrow. So those of you members have already seen this, but when I got back from Ontario, I hit my local antique shop, and it's really interesting because there's 2 or 3 vendors at my antique shop that has, it's like a warehouse of different vendors. And there's 2 or 3 vendors in there that actually carry fountain pens now and then. There's one that he's always got really nice stuff, and I'm always buying it up. But there's this one stall that has usually old junky kinds of pens, ballpoints and things like that, or really old Schaefer student pens, the ones that came in blister packs, things like that, or some really old celluloid 1930s fountain pens that had steel nibs, and the nibs are just toast. They're corroded and they're twisted, and the pens aren't worth very much. Stop doing that. Why is it doing that? There we go. But this caught my eye, and I need the keys to that cabinet, because this is a 1934 Schaefer balance in the petite size. It's a lever filler. It's in this blue color, and with this clip called the ball hump clip, it dates this pen to between 1932 and 1934. And the nib was in excellent shape, but it was almost black, which is a gem to me, because if you see that it's gold and the nib is completely black, most people think, oh, that's crap, I don't want to buy that. And so you get it for almost nothing. 5 minutes of polishing it, and it goes blurry. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. But anyway, must be stuttering for some reason. Will it focus? It's not going to focus for me. So I put a new sack in this and polished it up. The section was all chewed up, and so I reshaped it. Polished the clip up, which had 91 years of scarring and scuffing on it, and it looks almost brand new. And tiny pen. It's only 4 1/8 inches capped, but it's, even in my medium-sized hands, it is writable, and it writes beautifully. So quite the find. I was really stoked when I found that one. At the same store, a different booth, I found this in the original box. This is a Waterman's, and I'm not sure what Waterman's it is. Put that aside. And this is a Waterman's made in, yep, this one's made in Canada. And I think it is a W5 or a W2. Lever filler, and there's an example of one of those black nibs, and it needs a little bit of work, not much. It's off the feed a little bit, so it's a little bit twisted, but look how black that is. That's 14 karat gold, folks, and I can't wait to show on camera the 5 minutes of polishing that'll take that nib from that color to looking just like that. They will look the same. So that's always thrilling to me. That's why I love doing these resurrections. So I've got a couple of feelers out asking Waterman experts what they think this is. I think it's a W2 set. I'm not sure. And it comes with the pencil as well, which is in really nice shape. Original box. So I'm going to be working on that one shortly. Looking forward to it. Put that aside. And what else do I have here? Oh yes, in Ontario, I found this. I have a cross ballpoint that is in this Century 2 style, but I've never had the fountain pen. This was relatively inexpensive. It's a gold-plated nib, not a gold nib. And I put a Waterman converter, or Waterman. I put a Parker. I don't know what I'm talking about today, folks. I put a cross converter in it, and it's one of those slimline fountain pens from the 1980s, late 1970s, early 1980s, something like that. So I'm going to polish that one up. I don't think this is going to be a resurrection because this pen isn't dead. But while I was in Ontario as well, I picked up another Waterman, and this is the Waterman IDK. Does anybody know what a Waterman IDK is? It's an I don't know, because I have no idea what this is. But it looks like 1930s. It has that ball kind of clip from the 1930s, and it has a gold nib that's in need of some serious attention. And I don't know whether I've taken the section. I haven't even looked at taking the section off of this yet. So I'm going to work on that one specifically to try to find out what it is. It's completely flat. Oh, wait a minute. There's a number. I haven't looked at it carefully yet. Yep, there's a number on it. It just says 3 on the bottom. Many of these old Waterman celluloid pens had stamps in the bottom. So what this might be, I don't know. We'll do some research. If you guys know, let me know. And yes, then there's this. We've had this for a long time, at least 6 months. And original Parker 51 box. And here is the Parker 51 in this beautiful teal blue. There goes my camera again. Why it's doing this, I do not know. There we go. So this is a Waterman Aerometric. This is a Parker 51 Aerometric from the 1950s, early 1950s. And of course it's the Aerometric converter there. But what I've been waiting for is these brass converters. I have a young man in India who makes these brass converters that you can pull the aerometric filler out of the aerometric, put this in its place, and you can use Parker Lamy converters and cartridges to refill your pen. So the aerometric is a real pain in the butt to try to clean and so forth. So a lot of people like these 1950s Parker 51 aerometrics, but the filling system makes them really difficult to maintain. And I always found them really sharp. When you're squeezing this thing like this over and over and over again to pump up the ink, these edges are very sharp. And especially when you're cleaning, you can spend all afternoon pumping that damn thing and it just doesn't ever get clean. So replacing that system with, God, wait for it. Come back. Come on. There we go. Replacing it with this brass insert makes the pen that much more usable, much more modern type of pen. So I might do that conversion on that Parker 51 coming up. And that's what's old, new. That's what's new and old for me so far. Okay, let's see what people are saying while I was blathering on. Russell says, try a swift slap on the camera. Yeah, when in doubt, give it a kick in the ass. $1934 might have been a Betty Davis pen. Could be. You got to think about, what was happening in 1934. Pre World War II, middle of the Depression. It's a fascinating time. And Gabrielle says that Schaefer has a beautiful pattern. Some manufacturers try to do similar ones even today. For example, the Kaweco Art Sport. The Schaefer is such a beauty. It is indeed. 5 minutes of polishing and it goes blurry. I always heard it make you go blind. Yeah. You got to watch, don't you? Stop abusing the pen. Thank you, Spider Wrangler. Yes, thanks. That nib on the Schaefer Balance Petite, when I took it out of the section, it showed that there was a waffle in it. So it looked like someone had actually bent that nib back at the section and then straightened it again. The nib itself, right at the tip, is fine. But there was this waffle. And no, it works fine. It works really, really well. I was surprised. I thought that might interrupt the flow of ink. There's Oscar. Hey, Oscar. Welcome. Good to see you. I purchased 2 Schaefer pens from an online Canadian auction, a PFM1 and an Imperial Sovereign. Nice. The PFM is a lovely pen. I've got one. It was sort of a grail pen for me. My friend John sent it to me for resurrection, and I resurrected it, and he gifted it to me. And it's a beautiful pen, but again, they're more on the difficult side to maintain. And if you don't write with it regularly, I worry about ink staying in pens like that. So I've not got ink in it right now. I just admire it. TJ says, W2 is my favorite of that series of Waterman. Mine has a W2B. Yeah. There's a 2. That's this one. The, I don't know what the hell it is, model. And this has a 2. There's no W. It looks like a 2. It's partially hidden by the section. Once I get that out of there and polished up, I'll be able to tell a little bit better. That other Waterman, where did you go? Over here. Which I think is a W2. Very small nib. And it's buried. Yeah, there might be something there. No idea what it says. So again, once I get that nib out of there, I might be able to tell what that is. My camera going on and off and terrible. And let me get your name correctly. Shaurya Sharma. Welcome. Your question is, can you please recommend something for a complete beginner? So I'm assuming that you're talking about a fountain pen. So a fountain pen for a complete beginner. Well, my favorite fountain pen to recommend for beginners, hopefully I've got it here somewhere. Here it is. This is a Pilot Explorer. And the reason I recommend this pen is that it has a great nib. It has a great grip section. This is much better than a Metropolitan. Everybody recommends a Pilot Metropolitan to beginners. So great nib, great section, light pen, posts beautifully, many different colors, sort of a really nice, smooth, soft plastic body and cap, and it fits the Con 70 converter from Pilot, the much, much better converter than the Con 40. Of course, it takes Pilot cartridges as well. And an excellent clip and a very, very durable pen for the price. So this is the pen I always recommend for beginners. It's like when you're recommending a guitar for beginners. You get a guitar that is painful to play. Even professionals wouldn't be able to play it because it's so awful and cheap. It just drives someone away from playing guitar. So it's the same thing with a pen. You give a beginner a pen that's a piece of crap, and they're not going to enjoy the experience, and they're not going to want to write. So find a pen that works and works well, like this, and try that, and you'll be pleased. There's a question that's coming up soon about particular types of nibs on less expensive pens, and I'll refer to my Explorer then as well. Let's see who's next. That's a good suggestion as well. If you can find any Pen BBS 308, that's a great starter pen as well. And they come in wonderful colors if you can get them. Go to Etsy and the shop official Pen BBS store. I think it's the official Pen BBS store, or it might be the Pen BBS official store. Anyway, search for Pen BBS, and there's an official store, and search for the 308 Pen BBS. Beautiful pen. Metropolitan is not available everywhere. I think that's good, in my opinion. Any tips for replacing the Parker 51 Vacuumatic diaphragms? I always have trouble getting the rubber plunger and bead mechanism back into the pen barrel properly. Yeah, what do I recommend? Making sure that it really does take practice. Putting one of those diaphragms on, I cut my video short while I'm doing that. Sometimes it takes me 3 to 5 minutes to get that diaphragm latex back on the pump properly. And I do it in like triple time on my video because I want to bore everybody, but it goes on forever trying to get that back on. So I think it's practice, that you really just have to practice getting it so that it sits properly on that pump. And then when you're putting it in the back of the pen, you have to make sure that you put a bit of grease around the front of the cuff so that it gets past that lip on the inside of the pen and spins around in there as you're turning it without twisting. That's the thing. If you start turning it around and it's twisting on the inside of the barrel, it's just going to pull itself apart. So it's just, for me, it's been practice doing many of them. Wish my phone would shut up. It just keeps dinging at me. Yeah, that can be said for many things. A lot of lube and a lot of patience. Okay, send your children out of the room. Inkquiring Minds has gone blue. Galaxy blue. Spider Wrangler says, Doug or anyone else, do you know if Pen BBS pens are repairable? I have a 456 that had a cracked barrel after a drop. Yeah. You can get another barrel. Depends on what the finish is. Write to Biney and see if she will sell you a new barrel. I had that happen to my clear 456. It dropped from about 2 feet to a carpeted floor and broke right where the metal fuses with the acrylic. That's its weak spot. And so, yeah, you might want to write to Baini Zheng on the Etsy shop, official Pen BBS store, and ask her whether she has another barrel that she could sell you to replace it. There's no way to glue them. It was the clear 45616. Sounds like the same sort of break. Yes. So Spider, if it's the clear one, I bet that's the one that I had replaced, and I bet you they have more of the barrels available for the clear than any other finish. Like if you break a Galaxy, forget about it because they won't have them. They're very limited. You bought it at Sally, from Sally at Easy Buy. Yeah, so ask her first. I bet you she won't have parts, but Baini will. And when I broke mine, Baini said to me, she said, purchase another pen and I'll throw in the barrel with it, your replacement barrel with it. And so she tucked it in my next purchase, which was very helpful. And she is very helpful. So is Sally, actually. Qming Li is her Chinese name. So we're coming up on 45 minutes now, and let's go to some questions out of Doug's Mailbag. You've sent me some questions. Thank you very much for doing that in advance, some of you. And so let's move to my computer screen and get some of these questions on screen here. And I'll try to answer them one by one. Here we go. Let's go to the computer. Here's Kevin Landon. Hi, Kevin. Is he here? I haven't seen him yet today. But he asked this. At the halfway point of 2025, what is your favorite new release so far and your least favorite new release so far? Thanks for considering my question. And thank you for sending the question, Kevin. It's good to see you. I went through my videos from January until now and looked at all the new pens that I've reviewed. And this is the one that I think is the best of that group so far. This is the Leban 325, and this one is in this lovely ivory, creamy kind of acrylic that on camera you can't see, it just looks white. But close up it looks like it's ivory. It's striated with gold flecks and stripes. And this acrylic here on the barrel is from Jonathan Brooks. And so this is a very special Leban 325. These are glorious pens, even if you don't get the very special resin on the barrel. The pen itself, the 325, is just lovely. I had one originally when I tried it the first time, and I actually gave it away to a member as part of a membership drive. And I regretted it instantly giving that pen away because it was so beautiful. I missed it. And so when Joost Applebaum sent me this for review, I offered, he sent me a number of pens to review, and I reviewed this one. And I usually review them and send them back to him. But I offered to buy this one from him, and he sent me a note back and said, keep it. And so this was a gift from Joost Applebaum, and I really, really love this pen. So that was my best one of 2025 so far. My worst pen of 2025 so far, I'll have to think about that one. Might have to go through. Yeah, I might have to go through my videos to see which one recently. It might be the Moonman B25. because everything else has been fairly nice. Yeah, okay, I'd have to say the Moonman Mad John B25, I've got it here somewhere, but, and it's not worse. I say, okay, you say, was it a bad pen? Well, it's really well made, has an okay nib on it. It's just so slim that it's not really usable for me. And with a very fine nib on a slim pen is not something I'm going to use. So it's not the worst pen in the world, and it might be actually very nice for some people. So that would be my personal worst experience so far in 2025. So let's grab another question here. So who's this? Oh, this is Ian. Go back to my computer. If you could design your perfect pen, not perfect for the world, just perfect for you, what would it be? What material, what shape, what size, what colors, what nib, what filling system? Then that's from Ian. Thank you for the question, Ian. Appreciate it. I'm going to answer that by showing two pens. So here are two Leonardos. So the pen that I would want made for me, if you're listening, Salvatore, listen up. This is what I want you to make for me. We can call it the Inkquiring Minds limited edition. You can make one and sell it to me. This is my Momento Zero, Blue Hawaii. This was my first Leonardo. I adore this pen. This is the one that does the opening scrawl, Inkquiring Minds. And I have a custom ground. It's a steel nib, but it's a custom ground architect ground by my friend Jack Hernandez, who will also, I think, be there on the weekend. So it's an old home week for us. Beautiful pen. I love the size, the shape. The Momento Zero Grande is just slightly big for my hand. I love writing with it still. And this is the Dutch Pen Show 2020 resin from Jonathan Brooks. It's called Earth Magic 2. Let's see whether I can get my desk working. It is working. Yay. So maybe you can see that. Look at that resin. It's deep blue, cobalt blue, light blue, shot through with copper brown swirls. And it's just glorious. I had to have this pen when I saw it. It was a limited edition. So what I want is a Momento Zero in Jonathan. Stop it. Why are you doing that? So what I want is a Momento Zero in Jonathan Brooks Earth Magic 2 with a piston filler in the Momento Zero size and with a 14 karat gold architect grind nib. That would be my perfect pen. Thank you for asking. Let's see what else we have in Doug's mailbag today. We got a number of questions. So thank you for sending those in. And we'll go back to my computer. There we go. I just started fountain pens and have ordered through AliExpress a couple of Jinhao pens that you reviewed. Would like to know what website you use to see upcoming Jinhao models, designs that will be sold. Really enjoy your reviews. Thank you for your time. This is William. Thank you for your question, William. And I have got an answer for you. One thing that is really helpful is you guys out there, because so many of you send me a heads up and say, have you seen the new Moonman P140? And I say, no, I haven't. Oh, you should really look at it because it looks really interesting, blah, blah, blah. And I send a note out to my friend Sally at Easy Buy. And Sally, she runs, again, this is her westernized name. Her real name is Qiming Li. I can't pronounce it. It's Qiuming space Li. Quiming Li. I'll actually type it into the chat here. So, Quiming Li. And you can find her on Facebook under that name, Qiming Li. And you can message her as Sally at Easy Buy on Etsy. And you can also contact her through the Asvine shop or store on Amazon. They do Moonman, Mad John. Asvine is their main brand. Sally and Easy Buy and Amazon. And I send her a note in one of those places and say, can you sell me the new model and what other new models are coming up? And she tells me. Oh, it's Chi. Thank you, Ian. Ian says, not sure, but I think the Q is pronounced Chi. Qiming Li. Thank you. I always like to get the proper pronunciation because I just end up looking like a fool pronouncing things improperly here. Yeah. Okay. So Qiming Li. Well, that's easier to say, actually. So yes, I contact her for most Moonman, Jinhao, Asvine related products. Things are a little bit more expensive on her Easy Buy shop than they are on AliExpress, but I know where it's coming from and I trust her. It comes fairly quickly, and I know that I'm getting some backup from her as well. If I have a problem, I say, Sally, this thing was broken when it arrived, and she'll take care of it. So that's a good source of information, is to contact Sally on Easy Buy. The other person I contact about Chinese pens, especially Pen BBS, is Baini Zheng. I hope I'm saying her name right. I think I'll put her name up here. Baini, spell it right, Zheng. And she is the proprietor of the official Pen BBS store. And the other place I go is I will check out all of the shops on AliExpress, especially the 365 stationery shop, which seems to have the latest stuff, and just look and just sort it with what's new, what's coming up. So those are the best sources for inexpensive Chinese pens that I have. So thank you for that question. And let's see what else we have here. Another question. This one is from a man with a wonderful name. Let's go back to my computer. This is from Douglas Bates. Hello, Douglas. What a great moniker you have. I like stub nibs, but 1.1 stubs are too broad. The Pilot 78G and the Metropolitans and Praras have nibs labeled CM or B that are more like medium or fine stubs. Do you know of any others, preferably in the price range of an old teacher on a fixed income? So there's two of us there, Douglas. Two old teachers on fixed incomes. Thank you for the question. I don't know whether he's here or not right now, but it's a good question. And I was showing my Explorer earlier, and there's what's the name of the Pilot Plumix. There's a really inexpensive Pilot pen, plastic, very very cheap, that has, and they're called them calligraphy or something like that, but it has a very tiny stub nib on it, and I've pulled that nib from the very inexpensive Pilot Plumix and put it into my Explorer, and it is about a 0.7 to 0.8 millimeter stub. So it's the smallest stub that I know of, and it's also the cheapest stub that I know of. So find a Pilot Plumix. You can get them on Amazon, and find them where I can't remember what the classification is. It's either B for broad or CM, as he mentioned. But they sell the plume specifically for calligraphy type, brush type strokes. And they're very tiny stubs. And I just love them. Well, I only have the one, and it's on my Explorer. And I don't use this pen a lot. I keep it relatively clean, but it's the one that I recommend to everyone, especially with that nib in it. So thank you for that question, Douglas. I appreciate you sending it to me. And we'll go back to my computer. And I have one last question here, and then we'll be looking at your questions. Go back here. This is from Eric. I wonder if you're here, Eric. Would love to hear you pontificate. I don't pontificate, do I? On what other things pens have affected in your life, friends you've made, skills you've developed, etc. Also, for an aspiring pen content creator, what are your tips on filming, editing, and keeping up a good content pace without having your hobby become a burden? Thank you for that question, Eric, and good luck to you if you're a beginning YouTube pen video content creator. I'll answer the first question first. What other things have pens gained for me? Well, a lot of friends. There's a whole world out there that I didn't even know existed. And so I was as surprised as anyone that there was a pen fanatic group out there. And it's not small, so it's not just a small niche of 5 or 10 people sitting in their basement admiring their collection of whatever. This is thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Just witness all of the pen shows that are populated by thousands of people in all the major parts of the world. And online and locally, my pen club here in Calgary, a whole bunch of really, really cool people that I meet with regularly. So that has been sort of the number one thing, that the surprise at finding so many like-minded individuals. In terms of skills, I've sort of translated some of the skills that I've developed over my career in technical theater, in just being a geek that fixes things, into the fountain pen restoration and fixing kind of passion. And one of the things that I was working on for years in fixing and repairing and learning how to repair was guitars. I took a course through, I think it was like 6 to 8 weeks on guitar repair and repairing everything from broken necks to doing neck resets to doing refrets and things like that, and shaping and grinding new bone saddles and nuts, fitting electronics, all that kind of thing. So doing technical things like that with my hands and a small set of tools was always sort of in my skill set. So when I applied it to pens, a lot of this stuff came naturally to me in terms of the techniques. Learning how pens work and how to fix them has been a real learning experience and a very interesting experience. So yeah, that's sort of what's affected me to this point in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this. But you also asked about my tips on filming, editing, keeping up good content, without having the hobby become a burden. Well, I've said this a couple of times, but when I first started doing this, once I got close to and just over being monetized, so having 1,000 subscribers, I was getting a lot of negative feedback through the comments. And my sort of idea for my fountain pen channel was, I listened to David Parker and his Fig Boot on Pens channel, because he was giving advice to people who were getting into doing fountain pen reviews on YouTube. And his advice was, bring something unique to your channel that's just you. Don't copy other people so much, but try to put your own personal stamp on things. And one of the things I wanted to do was to go to the opposite side of what most people recommend. Most YouTubers recommend not reading the comments because it's so depressing because of the number of trolls and I'm going to try to control my language. So bad people out there on the internet who just get their jollies by trashing anybody else. So don't read the comments. But I went opposite to that idea, and I thought, well, if people are going to watch my video, I'm going to want to engage with them. So if you're going to spend the time to write a comment to me, I'm going to answer that comment. And so my whole reason for having my YouTube channel was connecting with people. And so I had this sort of personal rule that I would answer every single comment that was made on every single video. And that would take me hours. And doing that in the first year or so got to be very depressing because I got to read all of the crap. And I was engaging with all the crap. And so there's my advice is to not read the crap. And now YouTube has some tools to help you not read the crap. And the best one is the filter. So go into your YouTube channel and put in words that you do not want to see in a public comment. So you put all the usual words that people call you. I put in a whole bunch of things about my guitar fingernails because people were really on me about having fingernails that were disgusting. And so I put a whole bunch of things. So if any of you put a comment that says fingernails, it gets flagged and set aside. And I can go through those and sort of triage them, toss them, ban the person from my channel who's made the really awful comment, which is satisfying. That's the thing. Instead of arguing with an idiot on the internet, I get to bop them on the head, and they don't even know they're gone. And they can type away all their shit to me in all of their comments on every video, and no one ever sees it. I never see it because they're banned. So that's a lot of fun. It's like playing whack-a-mole. You know, a comment pops up and pop, you pop them on the head. So I turned that into a game. But what I gain out of this is that I get to engage with everybody, and 99.9% of you, of course, are wonderful people and want to see you succeed. So engage with your audience, but protect yourself. In terms of filming and editing and keeping up good content pace, I just sort of worked on the principle that I was going to do what I could do to keep this from becoming a full-time job. I've been retired for 11 years now from teaching at university, and I'm enjoying doing the filming and the editing, the writing, and so forth. And so as it charges me with interest in my retirement, I'm enjoying it. So I always said to my wife too that I only do this as long as I enjoy it. If it starts feeling like a job, I'm not doing it. I got into a pattern where I'm doing 2 videos a week. One is a review and one is a pen resurrection, a restoration. And I've sort of stuck to that. So that's also the advice, is keep a consistent content going. If you are going to be busy in a couple of weeks, you're going on vacation or something, I will tend to do a couple of videos that I can schedule for going up in those spots on Saturdays and Sundays because I know people are looking for them. And so I might be out of town, but the videos go up anyway. So keeping that kind of pace going, but not doing so much content that it ends up being a burden for you. In terms of filming and editing, when I started, just using my iPhone to do videos. That's it. And using my room lights. And just add what I need as we go, as I can afford things. I'm not going to invest in $10,000, $15,000 worth of studio equipment because I'm not making $10,000 to $15,000 worth of revenue off of YouTube. Currently, I'm making the best revenue I've ever made on YouTube. But when I started, it was, $5, $10 here and there that you'd get. but use what you have. So I'm using my iPhone. What is it? It's the Pro model of the 16, the iPhone 16. And that is my main camera. I've folded in a second camera because one of my mentors from the Fountain Pen Network sent me a note one time. He said, I love your videos. This was years ago. I love your videos, but people want to see your face. And I thought, who wants to see my face? I mean, if anything is going to drive people away from my videos, it's going to be seeing this, right? And he said, no, people like to see your reactions to things, like to see you talking about things. So I started with a second camera. So I'm using my old iPhone 6. Yes, it's an iPhone 6 as a third camera. I started using it as a face front camera to blend two video streams together. And that has since upgraded to this camera right here, which is an what's it called? Now I don't know. It's called the Insta 360 Link. And it's an AI camera, so that it will follow me around if I set it to, but it's a high resolution camera that is easy to manipulate. So that was quite a few dollars, but again, I'm 5 years in. So I'm just adding things to the technology as we go. As far as editing goes, I highly recommend DaVinci Resolve, not the Pro version, not the Studio version. That's very expensive, just the free version. It's very easy to learn. There's a lot of resources, and it's free. And so DaVinci Resolve, in terms of live streams, I use OBS, which again is free. So as long as it's free and it works, that's in my ballpark. So it's a long answer to your question, but I really appreciated the question, Eric. Thank you for sending it to me. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. Spider Wrangler says, but my prof used to threaten to hit me with a spoon for falling asleep in class. Or, well, I had a teacher in high school that used to throw chalkboard erasers at people. If you're sleeping at your desk, he'd throw the eraser or he'd throw chalk at you. Those were the days when you could hit your students with a stick. Yeah, you can't do that anymore. This is why I got out of teaching. Oscar says, my ideal pen is a Leonardo MZG 2.0 in PM resin. That's the primary manipulation. I have 3 of those. The Montegrappa Elmo 2 is not far behind. Those are beautiful pens, those primary manipulation pens. He's gone quite a ways, Jonathan Brooks, from his basement. Where is he? In Ohio, New Jersey, or something like that? I can't remember where he is. Yes, thanks for that. My Pilot Plumix just says M, but it is a stub. And they come in a blister pack that sometimes says something about cursive writing on them, or art writing, or something like that. And the Plumix is that long rat-tailed pen. Looking at the card, the XL is either from France or Francophone Canada. The XL. Sure, not. I think I interrupted the conversation there. Sorry, Ian. Juicy Louise says, if you review notebooks, do not give in to requests to try Sharpie. Really annoys me to see good paper abused. Well, Sharpies are good for some things. Thank you, Oscar. Yeah, well, don't apologize for other people because they're not worth it. They're not worth the effort. Always remember that when someone is negative to you, especially someone that doesn't know you, they do that because they're a very sad person themselves. And so they lash out. The other thing I've discovered too is that People who are very sad in their own selves and have very low self-esteem tend to lash out at those who are successful. So they see you doing something that you wish you could do, and you're being successful at it, and they resent you for it. I don't have a degree in psychology, but maybe that's why I wouldn't take psychology, because crap like that, I just can't get my head around it. Yeah, you can't argue with stupid people. Stupid is as stupid does. Life is like a box of chocolates. Known in some internet forums as twit biting. Twit bidding. Thanks, Ian. Ian says some people find seeing the face helps with hearing, borderline lip reading. That's true. I hadn't thought of that. And it reminds me of something was it my mother-in-law? Or it was one of my teachers from college. Yeah, I think it was one of my teachers from college. If you talked to her on the phone, she said, wait a minute, I have to get my glasses. I can't hear what you're saying. So, yeah. Yeah. Those are the days when they used to be able to throw things at you. Not only that, they used to be able to whip you. I was strapped in grade 3. And what was I strapped for in grade 3? I was strapped for, I never did it again. Oh yes, I got hit by an eraser. We were having an eraser fight with your ruler and a bit of an eraser, and you'd flip it across the room, and the eraser bounced off my head, and so you out in the hall, whack on the hands, bad kid. So I got strapped in grade 3, and then I got strapped in grade 6, and that was for, we used to have recess up to grade 6. We had recess, and then afterwards you had breaks. But in grade 6, there was a recess, and there was a fresh fallen snow out in the field. And the rules were that you could throw snowballs past the line of the goalposts on the soccer field. And so we were throwing snowballs, and the bell rang, and we all go running back towards the school. And I had a snowball in my hand, and I threw it away. I had crossed the line by about 10 feet, and so I threw the snowball in the non-snowball throwing area. And I was brought into the office, and great big man, vice principal, had to be 6'2", and there's 6 boys or something like that. We all lined up, and he really walloped all of us. And I can't look at another snowball now. I've been traumatized for life. But those are the days. Today, that would be called child abuse, right? Russell says a teacher used a ruler on my grandmother on her hand because she was left-handed. Yes, that happens. Right across the knuckles. That only happened once. My great-grandmother went to the school and told the teacher, you use that in my daughter, and I'll... Where's the rest of it? Again, and I'll be back with to use the ruler on you. Yeah, that was kind of my mother too. When she found out about some of the stuff that was happening at school, like I got suspended from school in grade 8. I sound like I was really bad. Get strapped in 3, strapped in 6, suspended in grade 8. I was suspended in grade 8 for smoking during recess. No snowball throwing, no smoking. God, draconian. But so I got suspended for a week. And when my mother found out that I had been suspended with no warning of bad behavior before all of this, my mother was a superintendent with the Board of Education. And she was a force to be reckoned. And she went marching into that office, and they were all like, oh no. What did you do to my child? Lock the door, Mrs. Rathman is coming. Okay, thank you, Copperplate. Yes, I get talking. See, it's good to have a co-pilot. So Gabrielle is my co-pilot today. Thanks for hanging in there and keeping an eye on me and keeping me on the path. So yes, we're going to do a membership giveaway every month. I give away 5 free memberships to my channel. YouTube allows you to give 10, but only 5 in any one live stream broadcast. And I only do one a month. So what we're going to do now is we are at, let's see how many people are here. We have to go back here to see. Oh, we got 59 people here. So we need to do a drum roll. Roll out the giveaways. Yes. And I have to learn every month how to do this. So is it, I go dollars, show your support, super stickers, super chat. Nope, that's not it. It's not there. Well, what do you know? Let's pull this back in. Well, that's odd. I'm going to show you my screen here. So it's got chat, emotes, show your support, super chat, super stickers, super chat. It's like, Nope, I don't see it. Start a poll, closing. Does anybody see live chat? Am I missing it? It's not there. The option is not there anymore. Well, that sucks. Maybe they've turned that feature off. Does anybody know? Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. I just can't seem to find it. It's not where it usually is. So I don't quite know what to do. Heart. Try the 3 dots in the upper corner. We'll try that. 3 dots give me nothing. 3 dots. Moderation, timestamps, reactions, pop-out chat, send feedback. Google said you are looking for gift memberships. Yes, I am. Gift memberships. It's usually under the $. And all it says is show your support. It's like it doesn't see me as that I'm running this live stream. Well, I'm going to have to, 3 dots, then membership. 3 dots. 3 dots do nothing if it's popped out. So 3 dots, membership. I don't have that feature. Nope. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry about that, folks. I'll have to look at it. It might have something to do with how I'm popping this out on my screen. And now it won't allow me to pop up my comments either. Oh, man. I apologize, folks. Yeah. So I don't have I don't have that feature, the three dots and then membership for some reason. So I apologize for no free memberships this month. I will investigate for next month and see whether I can get it going again. But I appreciate your patience. And remember that the next live stream is August 2nd. Maybe in a month I'll have that fixed. What if you click the dollar sign next to the chat? Well, that's what I usually do every month. I click the dollar sign and it gives me super stickers and super chat. And it allows me to, I don't know, send stickers or send super chat. I can send myself $2. I don't want to do that. So I don't know whether it's a glitch with my software or with YouTube, but we'll work on it for next time. When you figure it out, put it on a postcard for next time. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I'm seeing as well. It's treating me like I'm a viewer. I think it might have to do with the fact that I scheduled the stream for a certain time, and I popped out the chat before I went live because I was chatting with people. I pop out the chat so I can get the URL on it, so I can paste it in, so I can do things like this, right? But I did all that before I went live. So maybe I have to go live first, then pop out the chat. Otherwise, it thinks I'm a viewer. Yeah, right? I know, right? It is the technology. And this stuff, I mean, I can figure out YouTube. I know how to use YouTube. I know how to use my video editing software. These live streams are so much voodoo, like this stuff. You know, am I going to get balloons this time? So no, it was like this. So last time I got balloons when I did that. Sometimes if you go thumbs up, you get a thumbs up. There it is. If I go like this or like this, I get some of these gestures. I get them completely by accident. I don't know why I get all that stuff. It just happens. And then sometimes it doesn't. So it's like this this pop-up chat. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When I did the live stream last month, I had Claire Coco as my co-host. And getting 2 live video streams feeds into a live stream, that was a whole other piece of voodoo. So it's not just 2 pieces of software. I'm using YouTube over here for live. I'm using OBS here that's streaming me and all my cameras and stuff like that. But then I had to use something else. What was it called? Ninja, something Ninja. Yeah, it's called Video Ninja. To bring her stream in and bring my stream in and bring them together, and that was voodoo. It just, sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. So, Google did say you have to be live. Yes, you have to be live. And I'm live, but I don't think my chat thinks that I'm the user, that I'm the generator of this live stream. So anyway, sorry about that. We will do better next time. And next time is August 2nd. So please set your calendars for August 2nd, Saturday, and we will be together again. Let me know in my email, inkquiringminds@gmail.com, if you have some questions you want me to ask or some topics you want me to talk about at the next live stream. And I appreciate all of you for being here. Here's my co-pilot. Gabrielle says, thanks for having me as a little co-pilot. It's a great pleasure and an honor. Gonna have a refreshing fruit salad now. 'Twas 30 degrees C today. We got a nice cool day today, thank you. We've had 30 degrees plus C in the last few days. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you, Copper Plate, for doing that. Thank you all for being here. And I'll leave the chat open for a while so you can all finish your conversations. And I look forward to seeing you all at the next live stream. So it's goodbye from him and it's goodbye from me. Thank you for being here. Take care. Have a great day.